Hello everybody, welcome to the next edition of 5KP video. Tuesday, 6th of July 2021, Adam speaking from Poland. So I still didn't move anywhere. Maybe in a month or so you will be seeing me broadcasting from somewhere else. But now I'm just enjoying my life here in Poland, and we're going to be having a special program today as always. It's going to be special because our account is still blocked a little bit from trading because of the missing currency in there, and still not enough free cash to be trading options. But nevertheless, I prepared something special, so you will see what we will do. We'll be able to do some trades though. Before we move there, remember that this video is for informational, educational purposes only, so all opinions are mine, and you need to have your own mind when trading. Obviously, here we are watching this video or doing this video. I'm doing these videos to teach you how to trade options, how to think, but not giving you any advice. So if you agree to that, well, let's move on and see what's the agenda for today. So again, two parts: YouTubers and Academy students. For YouTubers, today we'll be doing something practical. So I will talk about profiting from the stuff you own, and we'll be selling covered calls on AG. So I have in my portfolio 400 shares of AG. Okay, so we have 4,100 shares of this of the stocks of this company, shares of this company. First Majestic is a miner, silver corporation. It's quite expensive stocks, and it's part of the reason why actually I can't be trading option contracts right now, because it's blocking my currency. But what I can do is I can profit from this stuff using option contracts, and in such a way that if the price of AG goes up, we're going to be happy because we're going to be making money on these 400 shares plus the contract that we sold. If it goes sideways, that's also okay, because we own 400 shares, the price doesn't change, but we will be selling covered calls, so we're profiting from the covered calls, so making money like that. And if the price of AG further goes down, well, we'll not be super happy about this, but the plan here is not to sell this stuff. We don't want to own, and we want to reduce the cost of owning this. So I'm going to be okay, because I'm still going to keep the premium from the call that I'm going to sell, and just wait for this company to come back. I don't see any reason for this company to crash down to zero, and that's definitely not going to happen in today's economy. Knowing that the printing is still going on, we are in inflationary times. Inflationary. The inflation, which was supposed to be temporary, now it's not so temporary anymore. We're waiting for the announcement coming from the Fed. I think it's going to be tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I don't remember exactly. We have to look into the calendar. But now everything depends on Fed. And all we know is that Fed thinks that they can keep inflation temporary, but the history tells us otherwise. And in this kind of times, metals, undervalued commodities like silver tend to be going up like crazy, and especially mining companies which are controlling this kind of assets. So by no means I want to sell First Majestic shares. So in all these scenarios we'll be making money one way or the other. Sometimes it will look like we're not when things go down, but we keep the cash from the call, and that reduces the cost of owning this company. Every time I'm going to be selling calls and not basically getting assigned on them, I will be reducing the cost of owning these 400 shares. So fantastic. For the Academy students, I was thinking, okay, because this is going to be the only trade that we're going to be doing today, I was thinking, guys, let's just practice some trades, and I found a couple interesting candidates to trade. Procter & Gamble, one of those. You will see why I chose this, and the idea was to do a short put spread mixed with long call spread. Short put spread simply to reduce the cost of long call spread, and you will see why I choose this strategy. And on AT&T, I found that it could be possible to do a nice iron condor in there with a broken wing butterfly combined. So this is going to bring some cash flow for us, and this one is for the upside potential for this company. Same as PG, this is bringing cash to pay for long call spread, and I want to practice those two trades because these are my favorite ones, and would be nice if you guys also know how to do this, like out of your mind, understand why I'm doing this kind of things. So having said that, let's simply move on. And I don't know if I want to go to the news. I can bring the browser for a moment to show you what's going on the market today. So basically things are like opened high but going down, not too much though. We have bearish posture today. Most of the map here is red for today. And we see something interesting. I always suggest for you guys to check a couple things when you go to Finviz. Have a look at 10-year Treasury. Where is this going now? And you see that it's dropped very, it's like going down. So it looks like inflation is not a threat anymore. I don't know. I also look at the gold. So because there is a correlation between 10-year Treasury bond and gold. So if this goes down, this may tend to go up. Okay, and also interesting thing to look at is the dollar. So Dixie. So I would go just here and have a look at the Dixie, and you see the dollar pulled back a little bit up, and so there is a positive news on the dollar. More or less, it's gaining on value. I think this is temporary. I think this is just going to be tanking as we continue printing. I mean, US, I don't print anything, but the Fed keeps printing. So the value of this naturally drops, Treasury probably gonna go, either they will introduce some sort of yield curve control, or it's gonna come back up. We will see. For gold, I'm still bullish. I can show you something interesting on the GC chart. I think I want to show this to you on Thinkorswim, but before I go there, there were some news today. So precious gold reclaims 1800 level as US bond yield drops. That's just to tell you that there is a correlation between those two. That's what I've been talking about. Gold jumps over 1%, new 3-week high. Silver climbs also, and the Treasury drops. Okay, so why? You can read about this. It's all about these guys. Okay, so we're waiting for what these guys gonna tell us. And when are they going to tell us something? FOMC Wednesday, July 7th. So tomorrow. Pay attention to this. It's 8 p.m. my time here in Poland. In the US, guys, you will have it earlier. Very interesting. I wonder what they're going to mention about inflation. Is this transitory, or is it going to take longer than expected? There's lots of bullshit going on. One thing for sure, these guys are buying up everything. They're creating the treasury bonds. They buy them on the other end and just manipulate, just basically buying up everything they can. Gold tops, that's what we've been talking about. Okay, reclaims the tops. I've been looking at the same thing. Interesting. US oil price jumps to 6-year high after OPEC deal failure. So OPEC failed with their deal, and on that news, the price of oil jumped. Okay, so I told you already many times that what I'm thinking about this, it's not just OPEC deals. I'm thinking that governments around the world will try to hide the booming inflation behind something, and the best thing to hide your booming inflation into is prices of energy. That's also the reason why I'm going to invest in oil mining, uranium mining, oil rigging, digging companies. So because I don't think this is gonna stop. I think this thing's gonna go up as we're seeing more inflation popping up. And everybody's seeing this, daily. Okay, so just going to a shop, and I asked my grandma about oil prices, oil, but not oil, US oil, like crude oil, but oil that you can cook with. And this thing, went up by around 40% here in Poland. So that's pretty unusual. What's going on? So I guess the situation is like the same everywhere in the world. Knowing this, keep that always in mind when you're trading. Okay. So knowing this, we're going to go back to our, first time looking at our simulated trading platform, our account. We are a little bit, above 8K. So as you can see, we recovered from the last week losses, which I said I'm not going to be getting rid of any of these companies. I want to keep them. And you see what happened today. Gold and silver up, 28 points on the gold. Futures on silver 0.15, but we're close to 26.60. That's a good number here. And one thing that I wanted to show you was the gold chart, because if you look at MGC here, I drew some lines here before, a little channel here, and you see that we broke that channel. Everybody was thinking now gold's gonna go up, and then there was this huge sell-off, but it held. You can see that the support zone here, previously resistance was broken, then we hit it as a support, came back up a little bit, hit it again, and then bounced up. We're still trading below 200-day moving and 50-day moving average, But if this continues and it breaks above 1900 or something, well, there's no way it's not going to go higher. So, but we will see what happens. For now, you can see that we're getting out of this downtrend here, and well, doesn't seem like gold is willing to come back. We will see what happens though. That's an interesting pattern, here. Silver, on the other hand, looks still the same way as it did, before. You see, we're sitting here on the support line. I mean, I should extend that line a little bit further because I think it's an ascending triangle. At some point of time when it breaks 30, I mean, the sky is going to be the limit. Next stop will be 50. So, but still, we're trading sideways since longer period of time. That's basically since 2020, August, sideways. Well, that's all right. I can be cash flowing from silver mining and silver over the longer period of time. I don't mind that. So, but I'm still bullish silver, and I think like with gold, it's gonna just simply go up. There is no other way to go for silver than up, rationally. So obviously markets are crazy. So, but I personally am bullish silver. So that's what we see. That's what I wanted to show you. Also, we should look at the market. So what's going on with the market? MES futures. Look at this. This is just continuing, and I stopped drawing a channel. It just continues going up. Where's the limit? When is it going to correct? I don't know, guys. I think it would be crazy to be trading this market bearishly now. With all this printing, all this liquidity, all these inflationary numbers, I mean, and all the policies about just creating digits out of nowhere and bringing more liquidity to the market, I don't see this thing to crash. So oil, you see 74.76 a barrel. That's oil futures, light sweet crude oil futures. And today was a little bit corrected, but still, this kind of levels. Compare this to, what was this, like December 2020, somewhere there, 40s, nearly doubled. So crazy numbers. So let's go to the monitor, see how our portfolio is doing. SPY, beta weighted portfolio. I don't see obviously the numbers here for delta because some of them are not available, so the whole computation is down. I can see though that I'm bullish, okay? With the market, according to all the other deltas, I just have a little bit of insurance for them, but in general I'm bullish. Theta, not very impressive, $10 a day, not too much, but that's because some of my orders were not filled here, like this 300 shares of GAU. I approached this and tried to sell some calls on it, but to me it's just too far down. I want to take some profit out of this for 10 days. I was requesting 0.5 cents, they paying 0.25, 0.025, 0.05. I'm not okay with this, so I rather stay in shares and just wait until this comes back. This is a gold company, so gold miner. What else? So we see this PL open. You see that the portfolio is kind of losing here. Like all these numbers are in negative. Some of them are really in negative. FSM, big correction there because of the merger, and then or buying some other company. Yeah. So we're trading pretty low, but today it kind of recovered and starts moving sideways. So I have some hope for FSM. I also tried to sell some call. Oh no, wait, it was an FSM. Here I have calls sold, but FSM calls were not sold. What I was talking about was like not paying attention. Yeah, but basically, we have some sort of losses, but are they really losses? So for example, if you see PL open on AG, where I own these 400 shares here, $300. If I go to account statement though, AG year to date made me $350. So I'm not really losing on this position, okay? Only from the position that exists in this portfolio, it tells me I'm down by 300 compared to where it was initially. I own 400 shares at 1650. Okay, current price is 1575 more or less, and that's why I see this number. But year to date, my portfolio year to date, this is actually winning position. So I like that. So today we're making $151 from all these positions. Not too many losers except for Denshin, which is uranium, and here very small on NextGen as well. Okay, so year to date, overall year to date, 3.3K, and we can't be trading today. So closing only. However, closing only, but I own this 400 shares here in AG, And that's something that I own. You can imagine that it's like owning a house or something like this. I own 400 shares of First Majestic. It's like I can say I also own some house, you know, like just to compare it with. I own something. So does it only need to be sitting here and not working for me, or I can make this asset work for me and bring some cash into my portfolio? Obviously, because you've been following my videos for a longer period of time, you know that I will not let this thing to just be sitting there. I want it to cash flow. So how to make this First Majestic Silver Corporation cash flow? So coming back to the original idea, we're going to be talking about profiting from the stuff you own, selling covered calls on AG, so we end up in a situation where upwards, sideways, or downwards movement does not cause any trouble for us. We don't really care where it goes. This is the company I want to own. So how do we make it cash flow? First of all, let's have a look at the chart. So I'm just going to bring in AG, and you see that it has been moving in some sort of a channel for a longer period of time. So since basically January here, after a little silver squeeze in here, it happened some silver squeeze. There was this silver squeeze time, GameStop, and everybody was just shooting up to unbelievable levels. But then it came back down, but not completely down to the previous levels. It's remained, it created a new channel for itself, and since then it has been moving in a price range from around 1450 till around 20, I would say, but more likely 1950 or something like this. So I just drew it like this because I look at these two candles here, first movement here. So obviously I could be moving this range to 20s, also would be absolutely correct to do this. So now we see this channel. Another smaller channel would be, if I just draw it, because I can immediately see this, for a shorter period of time, basically starting from somewhere here, we would be in a channel which is 19s, yeah, somewhere there. But even better, 18s would be a level of resistance here. It was just coming down to 1450 and then bouncing back up and hitting 18s and then coming back down. So I can see clearly the two channels. One channel shorter term from 1450 to 18. I own this at 1650, so this is the level at which I own the shares, which is almost equivalent to the 50-day moving average, which is pretty cool. 200 is coming back up, and now we're kind of having a reversal here on the 20. I think if I look at the shorter term perspective, you can see all the details here better of the latest candles. You see that it gapped down, gaps usually get filled. So I would be saying, being here, I would be kind of bullish silver, because maximum they can go down to is like maybe 1450, but then they're gonna come back up. I mean, that's how the trend looked like, and that's what I would expect it to be. And also thinking of what's going on currently in the economy, it makes no sense for First Majestic to just go down. Yeah, if I move into the longer perspective, so weekly chart for that's 3 years, so you also can see this channel. Okay, it looks kind of like a flag now here after a longer uptrend flag, and I think the last one is that's probably very long perspective, 20 years perspective. So you can see how silver has been moving. That was in 2011, 2008. At that time you see how this thing can run. It's unbelievable. Okay, so I don't think we are yet there, 2688. We still have long way to go to there, but economically we are also different. So back in 2011, Fed was not printing that much currency, didn't introduce so many programs. Of course, we're still after the 2008 crash, but Corona was not there, and we're not nuts yet. Okay, after Corona, things got nuts. Out of control, we're getting into inflationary times, commodity super cycle. I think this can explode. Okay, so no, I didn't want that. Come back to the original chart. What can we do with this? Let's trade this. So basically, this covered call strategy, what does it mean? It means basically I own shares at 1650. Current price is 1560 something, 1570. But my idea is, to promise someone that I will sell this 400 shares at a certain level to collect premium. Okay, so it's like having a house. Like I said, I have a house and I want to rent it for a period of time, 17 days, 30 days to collect some rent. With shares, I can do something similar. I own the shares, but I can promise that I will sell them, collect rent for them for a certain period of time. So I will sell this promise for a certain period of time. I can promise somebody, you know, for the next 14, 17 days, 10 days, I promise you I will sell these 400 shares at a certain price. And looking at this chart, this price to me should be 18, okay? I could promise somebody to sell this AG at 18 because this is the level at which, you know, probably if these prices come back, if they will find a ceiling here, resistance from which they will probably bounce a little bit, okay? So if they continue going, all right, it's okay, I will have to sell these shares at 18, but I remember that I own them at 16.50, okay? So I will take a profit and I will also keep my premium. If they don't get there, I just keep my premium, okay? And I don't have to sell. So that would be a safe bet. If I wanted to be more risky, I could go and do it with 17.50 as well, okay? Then in that case, you will be only making, you know, 1 point difference from the current price that we paid for this and selling it for 17.50, $1 higher, $400 of profit. If it reaches and goes above this, I would have to be assigned, and you know, so we can play around like what the promise should be. Should we promise to sell AG at 17.50 or 18? Well, in order to make a better decision, I should just simply look at the premium and think of my strategy. Do I want to keep these shares? Yes, I do. Okay, how likely it's going to be that I'm going to reach this level? Well, I don't really know, but it's kind of likely because we are in this channel. So that's risky, that's less risky. So maybe I should go for a less risky level of 18. Why not? Let's have a look at what are our options. So let's go to trade AG, have a look at the option chains. And what about looking at, I just reduce here the number of strikes. I see 18, I see 18. That's a promise for 3 days with volatility, implied volatility of 62%. That's pretty cool. 10 days have 60, 61% on 17s. I think that's the maximum level that I want to go to. So let's just compare all these three option chains. So if I promise to sell this AG for the next 3 days, 400, so probably I would collect $4 per contract times 4. So not too much cash, $16. Okay, that's not too much. Maybe 5 if I can do, that's $20. But in 3 days, I would be able to keep those dollars. Well, no, because I have to pay some. I will have to pay some fees to Thinkorswim for that transaction. That's pretty little cash. I don't find that very attractive. How about 18s here? I would get already 10 to 11, maybe $12 or up to $13. That would make $40 minus the 40 something dollars minus the fees. That's already better. You know, $40 is not $20. 10 days, okay. Would introduce a little bit of cash flow here. Theta is negative $2, but I also see negative $2 here on the 17 days. So how about that? 18. So I could probably do 20. That would be, because that's between 18 and 22, that would be $80 for 17 days for promising this. So that looks attractive to me. Actually, if I went to 17.5, that would be even more. But as you remember, that's more risky. You could probably squeeze $100 out of this in 17 days. Do I want to do that? Do I want to play it more risky? Current price 15.6, 17 days. Do I want to? Do I don't want to? I think I can, because thinking of this again, if that happened and this went to 18 and then bounced back down, I could still promise to buy this at this level. Yeah, but if I do, then I have to do all this. Let's be more not rational. Let's stick with the original plan. We want to keep these shares. We want to reduce the cost of owning these shares, and I would like to wait for them to come back and just be slowly cash flowing from this. But I mean, the premium is just okay. You see, I'm thinking of this because, you know, also what would happen here if I could mix the promise, you know, because I could offer to sell some at the level of 17.5. I have 400 shares, 2 contracts at this level and 2 contracts at this level. And if one of those get assigned, that would be actually okay for me, because I could start trading again. My option buying power would go up. And so even doing 17s would be cool. And still keep 200 shares and reducing the cost of owning those 200, okay? So let's do that. I'm going to mix that. So I'm going to sell, okay, 2 contracts Okay, at the level of 17, collect 30 bucks from this. So this is going to bring $60 to my portfolio. Confirm and send. Okay, I can do this buying power effect 0. I have to pay some fees, so I'm going to bring 58.70 to my portfolio. I'm going to send that in, see if that gets filled. And then the other promise would be to do the same thing, but I'm going to sell 2 contracts, okay, at a higher level, 18, for basically 19 bucks. Okay, that's also okay for me. I probably would like to squeeze 20 and see if I get filled. Okay, I'm going to confirm and send that. 38 bucks. It's pretty cool. Probably like altogether it's going to be more around 58 plus 38. Okay, that's, you know, well, getting closer to 100 bucks in 17 days. So I like that. I wonder if that gets filled though. So it looks like we are at this level, so it could get filled soon. Before we, you know, I'm just going to wait for this. You know, I'm not so crazy about getting filled immediately with this one. I really want to cash flow nicely. So I'm going to analyze those 2 trades to show you what happened. And let's analyze this one as well. Analyze trade. And now in the Analyze tab, you can see what will happen in the current situation. So if I just owned my shares, then obviously I just have this long flat line here telling me that if price drops, then I lose. If it goes up, I make money. Okay, on this 400 shares, which is nicely. If I go to 17 bucks from the place where we are right now, I'm going to be making 200 bucks on this, blah, blah, blah. If it goes to 18, I'm going to be making 600 bucks. But if I, like, observe now where the break-even point is. It's 16.50, right? That's the original price that we paid for all these 400 shares. But now what happens if I introduce those 2 contracts? Where is my break-even point? Now it moved to the left, right there, 16.25. So I reduced cost of owning those 400 shares of AG. I introduced theta. So at the current level here of theta, where we're sitting now with the price, my theta would be, just gonna reset the slices, guys, so we can see the 0. $6.83 at this level. Obviously, if we get to the level higher, here to 17.21, the theta will increase to 10 bucks just from this trade. So it's really, really cool. Now, how much money can I make max? Well, if the price goes above 17 to 17.50, well, I will be assigned a part of my promise, and maximum I'll be making 388 bucks here. You know, watch this box here, 390, 340, depending how far I go above this. If I reach the level of 18, I will be assigned on all my shares, and max win from this profit, observe this, 500 bucks. Okay, so I really, really like that, and I'm going to be waiting to get filled on this. You know, AG is not moving too much today. We'll see if it does, or I just make whatever. So we finish this, yeah, because I would really like to you guys see that it gets filled, so you can wait for the next week video and wonder what happened. Because if I don't get filled, then, you know, this will be just 400 shares sitting here, and I don't want that to be happening. So I'm going to cancel and replace, offer a little bit less. Let's offer 18, send, get filled on 1 package here. That immediately got filled, of course, don't have to wait. And then we will see what our realistic cash flow is going to be. Cancel, replace this one, offer 29, it's okay, confirm, send. Let's see which we get filled on this one. I offer less than the market is currently paying. We're delayed data though, so by 20 minutes, so I don't know what really is going on in there. Yeah, maybe I need to offer even less. Cancel, replace, let's do 28, confirm, send. How about 28? Should be, because the price went up. 28, okay. Now we will see the real trade here in Analyze tab. Okay, I would normally let it run, you know, but of course, you know, this is a paper portfolio. I want you to see this. So now our break-even point is actually at 16.27, and our cash flow, total cash flow, we will see here right now. At the moment, we're cash flowing 684 bucks, so we increased our theta to 17.20, fantastic. And on the Analyze, max profit 492, so I just, you know, resigned from 8 bucks, which is not hurting me too much. All right, so this trade is done, and I just let it sit and wait for the next 17 days. Okay, so this was the part for all YouTubers. I hope you guys enjoyed this and you learned something. And I'm gonna move now to the part for my students.